Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Mini Books Podcast with your host, Gloria and Rogan. And today we are excited to dive into Special Book with You. We picked this one because it has really important lessons to share, and we can't wait to talk about them. So let's get started. Hey, everyone. Welcome back. We're diving into a topic today that I know a lot of you are interested in. Healthy weight loss, but not just like the quick fix kind. We're talking about weight loss that actually sticks around.
Right, exactly. Because who hasn't done those crash diets? It's like setting yourself up for failure.
Totally. You lose a few pounds and then bam, they all come back, plus a few extra for good measure. It's like that frustrating roller coaster ride you can't get off of.
It's so common. And that's why we're doing this deep dive to explore a different approach. We're looking at the book, Healthy Weight Loss Without Dieting by George Meteljan.
And he doesn't sugarcoat things. Right out of the gate, he hits you with the statistic, get this, 90% of dieters, 90% regain the weight they lost. It's kind of alarming when you think about it.
It is. And, it really makes you wonder if all those traditional diets are just, flawed.
Yeah, it's almost like they set us up to fail.
Right. Like our bodies are almost pre-programmed to go back to a certain weight. But the interesting thing is, Meteljan argues that it's not about being stuck. It's about making a real lifestyle change, not just a temporary diet fix.
And the key to that, he says, is embracing nutrient-rich foods. So before we go any further, can you break down what nutrient-rich actually means? I mean, we hear it all the time, but what's the real deal?
Absolutely. Basically, it comes down to this. It's about the ratio, how many beneficial nutrients a food has compared to its calories. So you're not just counting calories, you're making those calories really count. It's like instead of just empty calories, you're getting a whole bunch of goodness in every bite.
So quality over quantity when it comes to the food we choose.
Exactly. And those nutrients like vitamins, minerals, fiber, antioxidants, all that good stuff, they act like they're like the essential building blocks for a healthy metabolism. And that's what really drives weight loss in a sustainable way.
And here's something I found fascinating. Meteljan says that when your body starts getting all those nutrients it needs, it's like your taste buds do a complete 180. You actually start craving those healthier foods.
It's true. It's like you hit the reset button on your taste.
He even mentions that after about 2 weeks on his eating plan, people say those processed foods, you know the ones, they start to taste, and I'm quoting here, too sugary, too salty, and too fatty compared to the real flavors of whole foods.
It's amazing how adaptable our bodies are. When we give them what they need, they naturally gravitate towards those healthier choices.
It's so true. It's like your body just starts craving those good-for-you foods. Although I have to admit, getting enough fruits and vegetables every day, that's always been a bit of a struggle for me.
Oh, tell me about it.
Yeah.
It's a common one for sure.
And Meteljan really emphasizes how important those fruits and veggies are, which makes sense. But he mentioned that something like 80% of Americans don't get enough of them. 80%. It's kind of mind-blowing.
It's huge, right? And it makes you realize why so many of us feel, sluggish or reach for those quick fix processed foods.
It's like we're running on fumes instead of premium fuel,
Yeah, exactly. And fruits and vegetables, they're like the ultimate superfoods. They're packed with those vitamins, minerals, fiber, all those amazing phytonutrients we were talking about earlier. They're essential for our bodies to thrive.
So by choosing these nutrient-packed options, you're not only getting those essential nutrients, but you're also naturally cutting back on those empty calories from processed foods.
Exactly. And because you're feeling more satisfied, you're less likely to crave those unhealthy snacks. It's a win-win.
It's like what we were talking about earlier with the iceberg lettuce versus romaine lettuce, same volume, but the romaine is like a nutritional powerhouse.
Exactly. Choosing nutrient-dense foods means you're getting more bang for your buck calorie-wise. It's about quality, not just quantity.
I love that. And, speaking of things that can hold us back on our weight loss journey, Meteljan talks about these things called adverse food reactions, basically. How our bodies might react poorly to certain foods, even if we think we're making healthy choices.
Yeah. It's like sometimes our bodies are working against us without us even realizing it.
Right. It's not just about willpower. It's about figuring out what foods make us feel our best. He even suggests, maybe trying a modified elimination diet to pinpoint those potential trigger foods.
Which can be a game changer for some people.
Yeah.
Although he does emphasize that it's always best to work with a healthcare professional, especially if you suspect any serious food allergies or sensitivities.
Absolutely. Don't just go cutting out food groups willy-nilly. But okay, let's talk about energy levels for a sec, because I know a lot of people worry about feeling tired and sluggish when they start eating healthier or cutting back on calories.
Of course, it's a valid concern. But Metelgen actually addresses this head on. He says it's not just about the number of calories you're eating, but the types of calories.
So it goes back to those nutrient-rich foods, right?
Exactly. Those nutrient-dense foods, they're like the premium fuel that keeps our bodies running smoothly.
Because they provide the essential nutrients that our cells need to function at their best. He even talks about those little powerhouses within our cells, the mitochondria.
Oh yeah, the mitochondria. They're like the energy factories of our cells.
And guess what they thrive on? You guessed it, the nutrients found in those whole unprocessed foods we've been talking about.
So it all comes back to giving your body the good stuff.
It's like the difference between putting regular gas in your car versus premium. Premium fuel just makes everything run smoother and more efficiently. It really is amazing how much of a difference the right kind of fuel can make for our bodies and our cars, right? But okay, we've talked about the why behind nutrient-rich foods, but what about the how? Like, how do we actually make this whole eating for nutrients thing work in real life?
Well, the good news is Metelgen doesn't just leave us hanging with a bunch of theories. He actually lays out a really practical plan. In his book, he calls it the Healthy Weight Loss Eating Plan. And the best part is, it's not about crazy restrictions or spending hours in the kitchen.
Because who has time for that?
Exactly. It's about making sustainable changes that fit into a normal busy lifestyle.
I like the sound of that. So where do we start? What are some of the key principles of this eating plan?
Well, one of the things Metelgen really emphasizes is the importance of starting your day off right with a nutrient-rich breakfast.
Okay, so like what? Ditch the sugary cereal?
Pretty much. He's a big advocate for combining protein and complex carbs in the morning to help stabilize blood sugar levels.
Which makes sense because when I have like a big bowl of sugary cereal for breakfast, I'm starving again an hour later. So what are some of the breakfast ideas he suggests?
He's got tons.
Yeah.
He's all about, like, rediscovering the power of salads. And not just as a side dish at dinner. He actually encourages people to think of salads as a meal in themselves.
Oh, I can get behind that. Salads are so versatile.
Exactly. You can pack so many different veggies, healthy fats, and protein into a salad, grilled chicken or fish, tofu, beans. The options are pretty much endless.
So ditch the boring iceberg lettuce and load up on the nutrient-dense greens. I'm all about that. What else does he talk about?
Portion control is another big one he emphasizes, especially dinner.
Dinner time, yeah, that's always a tricky one for me.
He basically says that our bodies just naturally don't need as much energy in the evening, so eating lighter dinners can be really helpful, not just for weight management, but for better digestion too.
It's about being mindful of what our bodies actually need, not just mindlessly eating whatever is in front of us.
Yes, precisely. And that goes for snacking too, which, let's be honest, is often more about boredom or stress than actual hunger.
Oh, absolutely. I'm a champion snacker. What does he say about that?
Well, he's not anti-snacking at all, but he advocates for choosing snacks that actually provide sustained energy and prevent those blood sugar crashes that can lead to overeating later on. So things like fruits, vegetables, a handful of nuts or seeds.
Okay, so basically trading those chips and cookies for some real whole foods.
Exactly.
This has been so eye-opening. I feel like I'm armed with a whole new perspective on weight loss, one that's not about deprivation or quick fixes, but about truly nourishing my body from the inside out.
That's what we were hoping for. And remember, Metelgen goes into so much more detail in his book, Healthy Weight Loss Without Dieting. He even includes a ton of delicious recipes that make it easy to put these principles into practice.
It's a great resource for anyone who's ready to ditch the dieting roller coaster for good. And a huge thank you to you for joining us on this deep dive. It's been a pleasure exploring these ideas with you.
Absolutely. It's always great to chat about this stuff.
And to our listeners, we'd love to hear from you. Have you tried incorporating more nutrient-rich foods into your diet? What are your go-to healthy meals and snacks? Head over to our website or social media pages and share your thoughts. Until next time, happy and healthy eating, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this conversation and want to dive into more book insights and key learnings, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, Mini Books Podcast, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. We're back every Sunday at 9 a.m. with new books and more to learn from. Until next time, take care, keep learning, and keep growing. Remember, this is Mini Books Podcast.